What's going on, beautiful people? It's me, Victoria Langford, your credit solutionist. I am a credit and debt coach, also the lead debt elimination strategist over at mycreditcall.com, owner of PX Credit Solutions, where we help you secure your financial future today. And if you didn't know, I'm also the author of the 90-Day Rapid Repair mini ebook, your one-stop shop for all things credit. If you're looking to boost your credit score 50 to 100 points within the next 60 to 90 days, we gotcha. Listen, everybody can't afford me. I'm not cheap. So if you can't really, do that consultation over at mycreditcall.com and you're looking to still get pretty quality help, go ahead and download the ebook. The products are tagged on the video. All right. Now, you guys saw the title of the video. We're just going to jump right on in here and talk about how the New York Times tech workers literally tried to grab their employer by the proverbial BALLS, and they literally didn't make an impact at all. So let this be a cautionary tale, y'all. Please stop acting like you know more than your employer. They were there long before you were, and they'll be there long after you're gone, okay? Especially New York Times. Why would you go up against a major media conglomerate thinking that you were going to make an impact? So for those of you that don't know what happened here, basically, the New York Times tech workers union decided to strike right before the election, thinking that it was going to impede ad revenue. They also thought that, if they weren't in the office, that it was going to slow the progress and the American people were not going to be able to get access to the numbers during the election. What a lie, right? What a lie. But you guys go ahead and like the stream as you come in. I'm going to kind of go through the article first and then see if we have any comments after that. And I'll get back on and we'll jump in and we'll talk about whatever you guys think about this particular story. But listen, y'all, these people are so dumb. Oh my God. Y'all are not dock workers. That's the first thing I want to say. What is a New York Times tech worker? If I can't get my news from the New York Times, guess what? I can get my news from the LA Times, right? I can get it from the New York Post. Matter of fact, let me show you where I got this story from to help it sink in. You see how the New York Times tech people did the strike? Guess who posted it? The New York Post. So this in and of itself already tells you, okay, the New York Post posted this. Y'all can't see my mouse moving there, but look at the top of the screen. The New York Post posted this about the New York Times. Now, maybe they're owned by them. I don't know. Maybe y'all can enlighten me. But anyway, let me jump into this story because this is so stupid. One news outlet goes, baby, believe another one can pop up and take its spot. So it says here, New York Times Tech Workers Union ends strike without new contract. Okay. The union representing tech workers at the New York Times on Monday ended its strike. Listen, y'all, I didn't even know they was on strike, first of all. But anyway, the Tech Guild, which represents some 600 software engineers and programmers at the Gray Ladies digital platform, turned to work on Tuesday morning without management having met their demands for higher wages and job protections. However, union leaders declared victory in the labor dispute. Y'all, this already is a little bit dumb because if you didn't get your demands met during a strike, that means you were not successful. You literally just took a day off to go stand in front of your job with a blowhorn. That's what you did. But anyway, Kathy Zhang, a senior analytics manager at the Times, who heads one of the guild's units, said the strike was a warning to management, which demonstrated our strength and our value to the publication. As I read this article, y'all are going to start to see they are absolutely in the land of Delulu. Because on what planet do you go on strike, your employer doesn't care, is business as usual, and then you end up coming back to work? In what land does that sound like a win? They still getting your labor, baby. But anyway, let me keep going. We clearly demonstrated how valuable our work is to the New York Times, especially on election night, and showed that we have the full support of subscribers and allies across the country going forward. Whoever this Zhang person is, she needs to get fired because she's dumb. She's over here selling snake oil. I just jumped into this. We only 5 minutes in, and I can tell that this is stupid. The union said the strike had its intended impact on the Times election coverage, which did not include a state level or non-presidential live needle, which gauges a candidate's odds of winning an election in real time. I'm going to come back on the screen really quick here, because I don't know if y'all remember, but another content creator went on and was doing semi-live coverage, and tons of people were doing live coverage during Tuesday's elections. Do any of y'all recall whether or not the New York Times was missing? Like, were any of you looking for the New York Times to cover the election at all? My guess is that it's a big fat no, because you know where I was going to see which states were going red or blue, like watching that map. You know who I was looking at? I was looking at Google, because Google News literally had it posted down to the minute, right? They told you when California votes were going to be in, when Hawaii, Alaska, they did their job and they did it nice. No part of Tuesday night was I sitting at my computer thinking, gosh, I wonder why the New York Times didn't cover this. Again, I didn't even know that their tech workers were on strike. So they picked a terrible time to do this. And I would be so scared if these were my union representatives. Okay. Because really, realistically speaking, I've been in one union in my whole life, the CWA, Communication Workers of America. When I was in that union, the union director, like the union leader, had a reputation of not wanting to go to work. That's literally the reputation that the union has. Yes, they protect your rights, but let's be real. They're typically the blowhards in the company, the people that never shut up, and the people that literally work maybe half the time. And they make sure they take out all their vacation days. They use all of that union time to go to so-called meetings when they could literally be sitting there working. We should demand more of them, to be quite honest with you. But let me get back to the article. So this Zhang lady, she's so in the dark. A Times spokesperson disputed this claim, saying that the website featured state-level presidential needles. Again, I don't know if they did or didn't. Do y'all remember? And like up the stream as you're coming in, if you're here, I'm not actually looking at the chat right now, just looking at my article. Times management said that the strike had minimal impact on the newspaper's election coverage. It was our smoothest site performance during an election ever, a company spokesperson told the Post. Yo, this strike was an absolute fail, because how you gonna try to strike during a very important time of the year, like a historic time of the year, and your employer's like, yeah, that was the smoothest that it ever went. To me, it almost sounds like they kind of wish you weren't there, actually, because I'll tell you what these union workers taught their job how to do. And I'm going to tell you where I see the error that they made here. Okay, so it says here, from Tuesday to Thursday, the presidential election results page and needle page were viewed more than any other pieces across the Times' entire site in a 3-day period since the 2020 elections, a 4-year high. The strike was declared after more than 2 years of negotiation. Oh my God. 2 years of negotiations that included unusual demands like job security for non-citizens in the U.S. on work visas and mandatory trigger warnings during company meetings that involved discussions of news events. Oh my goodness. Y'all, these people that work at the New York Times in the Tech Workers of America, whatever, the Tech Workers Guild, here's the thing. If you're going to go into a job such as media and try to be sensitive, you are in the wrong business. This strikes me as probably younger millennials and older Gen Z. I highly doubt that this is predominantly Gen X and old millennials. Now, some of the old millennials, yes, they do be tripping. And I do see some beards and some flannels in this picture here. So I'm going to assume there probably are some older millennials here. But here's my point. You picked the wrong industry. It's not your boss's job to coddle you. If you're in the media, your job is to be objective. So you don't get to sit there and be sensitive about the news stories that come out, because we, the American people, the public, the world, rely on you for objectivity. That is something that's been lost in a lot of companies that involve communications. If they're going to go into an organization that has been here 50, 60, 70, 100 years, and they are successful in posting the news, what makes you think you sitting there whining about a story about immigration, what makes you think that that's going to have any type of, like, you're not moving a needle at all in that office? If anything, you're putting a target on your back. So on this channel, I want to show you or tell you why I'm covering this story. I'm covering this story because it speaks to the fact that a lot of people need to start going into business for themselves. Because, see, business is definitely for the tough and the resilient, but it's also for those people that maybe want to rock the boat in established organizations. You almost sound like somebody that needs to start your own thing, right? That's what it sounds like here to me. And rock with me on this, you guys, because listen, if you don't like your employer and how your employer conducts business, so much so that it is starting to impede on your personal belief system, then you need to create your own system. A union can only do so much. In this story, all the union did for these people was take them out of work for a day or two and get nothing done. I'd be so annoyed if I got up, went to go picket, got my picture taken to where now I'm on the internet and you know, infinitely, and people know how dumb I am. Now people know how dumb I am. How stupid do they look walking outside that office, protesting about an election, and then going to work the next day? The other thing I want to point out is that the union here was useless, because why are we in negotiations for 2 years and still haven't accomplished anything? What that shows the New York Times is that there is no unity. There's no cohesion. You guys are not a union. Union means together. Cohesion. We're all walking to the same beat, but you're not. And that's how I know that this is a generational thing too. Because different generations have different priorities, different concerns, different things that they even care about. I couldn't care less if certain topics came up in a newsroom. Seriously. So to be sitting there being sensitive about things, you're in the wrong industry. Go work for a software company that, I don't know, like a CRM. Go work for like a company that is developing a CRM, right? Do something like that. You don't need to be in the news business. If non-citizens, talking about non-citizens upsets you, you're in the wrong company. Sorry, I know I said that like 10 times. Again, like the stream as you're coming in. So I think I might have read this paragraph already, but I'm going to read it again. What the heck? We're going to do it anyway. The strike was declared after more than 2 years of negotiations. Like I said, useless. Your union is useless if you have to negotiate for 2 years. You clearly don't know what you want. I'd fire you if you weren't in a union, and I was not afraid to be sued. I'd fire you all. Okay? And I'd also fire whoever is the head of that union because they're useless. All right? So job security for non-citizens. Here's my thing with that. For what? For what? You know what I'm saying? Unemployment numbers are the highest that they've ever been, I think, in the most recent maybe 10 years. And you're worried about giving jobs to people that are not natural born US citizens. Now, if there is a person that has the skill set, I'm okay with that. It's fine. Okay. But to get up in arms about it, That's a little suspicious. Okay. No. And I don't think that there should be a trigger warning on any company meetings that discuss news events. You're in the business of news events. So trigger warning for what? There literally should be some kind of clause where if you're sensitive, you can't work here. If you are adverse to stories about certain topics, maybe this isn't the job for you, right? This country runs on at-will employment, and that gives business owners the freedom to kind of set their own rules as long as they're within the government, like federal guidelines and state regulations. There's a lot of wiggle room there. I was talking with Mentor Shelley about that with our last live stream. We talked about how many companies do business in the gray, like with the PepsiCo situation. The thing that I pointed out during that live stream is, hey, on the surface, yes, it looks like Pepsi didn't follow these rules, but let's go down to this paragraph right here that says that it's in a clause that there will be times that the employer will not adhere to the very rule that's in paragraph number 1. Remember, I read the fine print so you guys don't have to. You know what I'm saying? And I read it because maybe you don't want to. Reading is boring, yes. But the parts that I like about it is that if you keep reading beyond maybe, let's just say there was paragraph A through Z. Most people, their brain starts to fry at about paragraph C. And the people that write these regulations know that. They know it. So that's why they hide everything in paragraph M, N, O, P, all the way down to XYZ. Because they know you're not going to look. You're not even going to flip to the back of the handbook and go to the glossary, right? You're not going to even do that. You're not going to look at the index. You're not going to do any of that to even get to the information quicker, right? They know that. So while everybody's covering this PepsiCo thing, yes, I'm getting off topic. We're talking about Pepsi now. With the PepsiCo thing, the paragraph literally says, hey, there will be times we won't be able to adhere to the law or the rule. Well, guess what? This firing of 150 people and this plant closure, they had a lawyer look at that before they did it. Trust me. They had a lawyer look at it before they did it. And they had to weigh, okay, is the damage and the money we're going to have to pay out for this, is it going to be worth it? Hell yes. And you know why it's going to be worth it? Because Pepsi is going to Colorado and they're going to get fresh talent in Colorado. Fresh talent that isn't going to be there, have been there for 45, 50 years, talking about how things used to be. That's why they had to weigh their options. Yes, doing business in Chicago, they get tax breaks. Yes, doing business in Ohio, they get tax breaks. But why do they get tax breaks in those areas? Because they're dangerous. Right? Because maybe investing in a community reinvestment situation, like because banks do that too in certain areas. But if you invest in a community for a certain amount of years, yes, you get tax breaks. You build relationships. You can have lobbyists there, right? So now they're on your side. So what Pepsi did, and again, like I said, y'all, I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic because we were talking about New York Times. Now we're talking about Pepsi. But with Pepsi, the thing is, I'm sorry, but I'm not breaking my neck to go to Chicago. I'm not breaking my neck to go to Ohio. I was thinking about investing in real estate in Dayton, Ohio, and I'm really actually still thinking about it because the properties are still relatively inexpensive there. But who's breaking their neck to move there? Nobody. Right? And the ones that are investing in these areas, and let's talk about Detroit too. Like the people that are investing out there, they have the capital to do so, and they have the relationships there. Pepsi's a major company. They don't give a crap because where Pepsi leaves, F it, Amazon's going to come in. You think Pepsi cares? No, because Amazon will probably sell Pepsi products. Pepsi is still going to be in Chicago and Ohio, y'all. They're still going to be there in one way or another. Are they going to take all the Pepsi off the shelves in those cities? So I'm saying all this because I want you to start thinking about this. Like, okay, your employer could do whatever the hell they want to, whenever the hell they want to. So right now, while you have your job, get off that picket line. Start fixing your credit. Right? Start working on your social credit score. Your credit score is your social credit score. Right? Use the money from your 9 to 5 to start taking care of all of your past due bills, your collections, all that kind of stuff. You got to do it, because when that company's gone, you're not going to even have the capital to get up and relocate with them. Because y'all know how it works. Like, let's say that they scooped up, let's say half of those workers that they let go of at Pepsi. And we're going to get back to New York Times, y'all. Don't even trip. But like the stream as you come in, and I'm going to go to comments and stuff like once I get done with my little rant. Y'all know how I do. So let's say Pepsi offered relocation to like half of those people when that plant closed. Those half of those people that they offered it to probably could not afford to relocate, because y'all know how it works. When you relocate, you have to pay for your relocation and then they reimburse you. But see, if you don't even have a credit card that you could put the expenses on, if you don't have money in the bank account to move, you can't even take them up on that deal. Right? And God bless Pepsi for doing it the way that they did it, because they had to rip that Band-Aid off. There was going to be no smooth transition firing those people and moving into Colorado. Right? They had to burn their ships. But again, they're not really burning their ships. Like I said, Pepsi products are still going to be in your corner store. Matter of fact, in that neighborhood, they still going to be in every hood. They're going to be at every liquor store, every 7-Eleven, every Whole Foods. Pepsi going to be here. Pepsi is still going to be in Ohio and Chicago. Tell me I'm wrong. The only thing that's going to be missing is their plant. Okay, so what? Now they got to pay more for freight to get the product to Chicago and Ohio. Big deal. Big deal. They cut their losses, right? And this is what New York Times did as well. They didn't fire these people, but best believe they're going to remember all of those people that stood on that picket line. Because look at here. Look at here. Look at here. Your photo is there, you dummy. Your photo is there. And it doesn't sound like this is a credit topic, but it is. Because look, let's just say the New York Times told them, so what, kick rocks, stay out of work. We don't care. Picket outside every day. Okay, New York Times will actually have to pay them while they picket. But what the New York Times will also do is they will take your picture, because that's a media company. You're so dumb going to war with a media company. You're not going to take down the New York Times, because you know what will happen? What will happen is they'll go out and get a venture capitalist to invest in them. You understand? Elon is probably looking at this like, ooh, yes. Rubbing his hands together, licking his chops right now. You know what I'm saying? So stupid to show public dishonor. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't loyal. And now we got you on film. Come back in this office. Yes. Yes. Come back in this office. But guess what? Now you want a list, baby. You're not even going to know that the list exists, but you're on it. That's why when I come on here and I bring Mentor Shelly, Cherie, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully one day I'll have Diamond Dave back. You know what I'm saying? I ain't looked in the chat to see if he's here, but shout out to Diamond Dave. I would love to have a conversation about this, because people are literally shooting themselves in the foot. And all of it ties in. Money, credit, jobs, unions, all of this stuff ties in together. That's why we're here, because we want to demystify it, and we want to reveal it to you. This is what we call hidden knowledge. I'm not going to say the O word that means hidden knowledge, because that scares a lot of people. But this is knowledge that's hidden right in your face. You know what I'm saying? And you'd be dumb. Like the guy that's right in the front there with the bald head and the chin hair. Now, sorry, y'all, it's called a beard. My bad. But if that guy came in to interview for a job with me, like at my company, I wouldn't even, as soon as he walked through the door, I'd put 2 and 2 together. Like, oh, you're that idiot that was picketing outside of New York Times. You're a known defector. That is your social credit score, y'all. That's why, listen, if you're going to strike, fine, strike, but you need to sit your butt at home. Do not be on that picket line with these people. These people have screwed up their social credit score. Now they work in tech, which is good, which means that they will be able to pivot if they choose to. But instead of pivoting, what did they decide to do? They decided to go out there and try to strong arm a established organization, right? That prints newspapers. Do you really think you're going to be able to go up against that publication? And anyway, let me keep going. This was so dumb, like on so many levels. Okay, so and then again, it was a slap in the face because the New York Times came back and said, yo, actually, you guys did us a favor, less bodies in this office. You did us a favor. And so it says the guild said its work stoppage also resulted in slower load times for the apps and the website, and that publishing issues produced intermittent and visible error messages for readers on articles and updates. Who cares? Netflix buffers when you watch it. That's dependent upon your internet speed. So what does that have to do with anything? New York Times website running slower. Who cares? We expected things to run slower on Tuesday. It was an election night. After the last debacle that happened at the election with the votes counting and all that stuff, you really think a slow website fazed anybody that was watching? No. And again, like I said, if the New York Times website goes down, what do? Say it with me, everybody. You go to another news website. That's all you got to do. Okay. So it says management disputed this. So they disputed the claim that, the tech workers guild is saying, oh yeah, there were error messages. See, our presence matters. Management kicked back and said, hell no, it didn't matter. The management disputed this, saying that the email newsletter link issue was due to an outside vendor, not our systems, and was fixed very quickly. So you know what you're watching right now? You're watching a company actively get ready to slice and dice. These people are so dumb doing this towards the end of the year. So dumb. Because you know what your average worker does? They don't pay attention. They don't read earnings reports. They don't read who actually owns their company. They don't read about the venture capitalists. They don't read about the shareholders. They don't care what goes on in their business or their company that they work for beyond their paycheck. Many people are like that too. So I'm not saying this like Credit Solutionist was never this person, but it behooves you to do it, right? I told you guys right now, and I'll start saying it more now. I work in tech. I don't talk about it because it's not your business. But best believe I know what venture capitalist owns the company. I looked at their C-suite. Nobody in that C-suite looks like me at all. They're all Ivy League. They look nothing like me. That's why I have a credit repair company. That's why I do debt elimination. That's why I'm a strategist and advocate for people that don't pay attention to these things. That's why I bring somebody like Mentor Shelly onto my channel, who, guys, eventually Mentor Shelly is not going to be affordable. Y'all need to jump on this now. I'm over here trying to tell you about the financial part of it, right? I'm telling you, hey, don't be like these knuckleheads. Don't be like these knuckleheads thinking that your one spot in that company means anything. While you're there, though, you got to take advantage of what that company is giving you. Take advantage. If they give you tuition reimbursement, you better enroll in school and grin and bear it. I have a friend. Oh my God. Okay. I don't think she went to college like right out of high school. I did, but then you guys know I'm a dropout, right? Hey, Kanye West over here. Okay. Proud college dropout. No, I'm not proud, but I dropped out. She sat at her desk because her job was so boring. She used to do her classes while sitting at her desk. My brother, who works in aerospace, okay, is a been there for over 20 years, because I told you he started working for in an aerospace company before he graduated high school. They paid for his degree 100%. My mom, my mom, okay, I'm not going to tell my mama's age, but my mom is pretty up there. She just got her bachelor's. Right? So if she wants to go be somebody's therapist someday, that's what she's working on. And guess what? The city that she lives in paid for it 100%. Y'all are doing it wrong. Going to get a student loan, going to borrow money, take out a personal loan, flip it, pay the people for the education. You crazy. Because there's a million jobs out here that offer tuition reimbursement. There's a million jobs out here that will offer you legal assistance. So you could always have a lawyer on retainer. Costs $10 a paycheck, right? Your job has the 401k. I was just talking with Cherie over at Black Women Making Money about this. She literally said, hey, if you have a 401k and you're looking to get a down payment for your house, pull some money out of that 401k. If you know you're going to be at that job anyway, pull the money out. Start investing. Make that job work for you. And then if you want to pull some of that money out of your 401k because you are not guiding your investments in that 401k, it's not self-guided. There is somebody sitting in a chair in an office somewhere moving your money, and you don't even know what they're doing. You don't even know what they're doing. So pull that money out of your 401k at the job that you work at. Don't pull everything, but just pull a little bit, and you can go over to Diamond Dave. Go learn how to trade with Diamond Dave. I told y'all I was a speaker in the flesh, a speaker at his Get Some Skills or Take the Deal in April. I know what serious people look like. I know what people that want to change and do something different with their life look like. And you know what they don't look like? They don't look like this. They don't look like this. Okay? They look like people that get on planes and go to events to hear people like me, Diamond Dave, Mentor Shelley, whoever you watch. They look like that. They look like people that get on planes to go and get things done, to listen to people that have done something and can offer them something beneficial that's going to help them economically, right? That's what people are supposed to be doing right now, not picketing. And I'm sorry, y'all. I know I've been getting real spicy. And actually, I got my heater on. Hold on, y'all, because it's getting warm up in here. Hold on. My Lord. So, y'all, and I'm sitting in front of this open window. My neighbor probably thinks I'm crazy. Like, who is she talking to? So let me continue with this article. I'm just trying to tell y'all, like, these jobs are not loyal. You need to be loyal to your bottom line. Get your credit fixed. You know what I'm saying? Get it done. Because let me tell you this. If you're at a job where you don't make enough money right now, and let's say you're in collections and stuff like that, well, guess what? The next job that you apply for, when they run your background and they see that you have all those collections and you have a lot of debt, they're not going to hire you. Because that is part of your social credit score. That's part of your social standing. Your credit card or your credit report is a resume. I keep trying to tell y'all this. And that's why I keep trying to offer y'all the 90-day rapid repair mini ebook. Y'all don't be listening. I'm a shameless plug, right? But y'all don't listen because you see this pop up on the screen and in your mind, you're like, oh, she's just trying to sell me something. Okay, goober, who isn't trying to sell you something? This article is trying to sell you on the fact that your employer cares about you and that you should pick it. Where we're literally reading an article right now that says, yeah, you work here, but so what? The ship kept on sailing without you. Nice try. What do they say now? Nice try, Diddy. You know what I'm saying? But no, that's what I'm saying. Something like this. Okay. Let's just say, like I said, if you are on the picket line, okay, that's strike one against your social status, right? Strike one. We have documented evidence that you are in this union and that you are willing to picket outside of a job, which means you're already affecting my bottom line as a business owner. I don't want to hire you. Number two, if your credit is jacked up because you got too comfortable, lifestyle creep started to kick in, but then it got overwhelming and now you have all this negative crap on your credit report, the next employer, when they run that credit check, they are going to tell you hell no. That's why I put this up on the screen, y'all. That's why I put it up on the screen. And I don't mean to talk spicy to y'all, but that's why I put it up on the screen. Because I know that these things are connected. You know what I'm saying? I know they're connected. Just because you don't understand it right now doesn't mean it's not a thing. You know what I'm saying? Let me continue. So the union also claimed that the Times site managed to weather the storm because of the work its members did in the months leading up to Election Day. So you see how this is basically just a tit for tat. Like every time that the New York Times says, hey, we can handle life without y'all, the union kicks back with rhetoric and says, yeah, but that's just because we put in work months before, months ahead. Okay, so what you are essentially saying here is that you prepared your employer for your departure, which means they still got labor out of you. This is the stupidity that will get you nowhere professionally, because none of these people are thinking like a business. They're thinking like an individual and kind of like a snowflake. This is why also I come for the YouTubers that are sitting in their car telling you that life is easy. It's not easy like that. If you could make a living sitting in your car, yapping, everybody would be doing it. If you have any videos in your algorithm right now on your YouTube homepage that say YouTube is on Easy Street, delete them. Any of that stuff. Anything that says it's so easy. What's that one? It's so easy a caveman can do it. Delete it. Because nothing's easy. It takes discipline. It takes reading. It takes skill set. It takes getting a coach to understand these things. Because no amount of personal PR is going to erase the fact that these people's faces are now attached to being disloyal. Not only disloyal, but ineffective. Not just ineffective, but foolish, because the company still got the work out of you. You prepared the system for your departure, cried like a baby, and then went back to work without even getting what you asked for. You know why you did that? Because at some point you realized that your job and your position can be replaced. Now, you know what can't be replaced is if you become a small business owner, because if you're offering a product or service, it is something that people need and they cannot do without. You know what will happen in a case like this? And that's right, y'all. You know, I got the small business blueprint. I'm going to put the link up here. Hold on. I'm going to put the link there in the chat for the small business blueprint. See, these goobers on this picture, they don't even know or have an inkling. Maybe some of them are business owners. Maybe that's why they were so comfortable leaving the job, but clearly not, because they came back after 2 days. But they don't realize you have a product or service that you're offering to your avatar who basically needs whatever you're offering. They're not going to be able to do without you. That's the difference between a product or service and being an employee, right? So small business blueprint, shameless plug, y'all. Get on up in that class, get in that course. I literally sat and walked you through every step of the way on how to start your business. You can't even say that you don't have time. You can't say it because it's all digital. Everything that is done is digital. The only part about starting your small business where you have to put the footwork in is going to the bank and opening the account, because you have to have your paperwork. You don't even have to go into your state's website to start the business, like to register. You don't have to do that. In that course, I literally walk you through how to do it. I clicked through every button that I clicked here in the state of Virginia to set up my LLC. Valiant Business Services. Okay. I set that up. I didn't leave my house to do that. I didn't leave my house, right? You can have an office, a home office, or you can have an office that's virtual. I do a home office, okay? But my address is not where I live. So please don't go looking it up thinking that you're going to be, roll up on me, because you're not. But that's what I'm saying. You could do all of this on your own. Don't be like these goobers, man. Ugh. So annoying, guys. Like the stream as you're coming in. And like I said, I'm going to get into the chat in a minute. Y'all know I got you. I'm going to come down there and we're going to be hanging out. But it says the systems and digital products that worked. Okay, so yeah, we read that part. So it says we broke down during this strike. What broke down during this strike broke because our members weren't at work. They sound so self-important. It is ridiculous. And they're acting as if the New York Times is not smelling the BS, right? So this particular story, it is a cautionary tale, because it seems like right now we're in the age of striking, but we need to stop that because we're now simultaneously in the age of the layoff. And the reason that companies can continue to lay off is because every time they lay off, they're looking to see what parts of their organization will run with less humans. There are certain industries where people are going to be needed, right? But like with the Pepsi situation, the reason that they did that, a large part, is because a lot of those jobs can be done by machines, right? I don't necessarily need a human there to tape up a box, right? I don't need that, because now there's tech startups that are creating machines that will do that for me. So I don't need to have an old timer that has 45 years. What I need to do is try to create a compensation package to get that 45-year old timer out of there. Because I got to make room for some new young whippersnapper that's willing to come in here and do this job for a fraction of the cost and doesn't even know what a pension is. See, I'm an old millennial. So if I ever went back into an office, I would at least expect to get a cubicle. The new age worker does not even have a cubicle, y'all. Have you seen those workspaces? Let me see if I can Google one. Let me see if I can show you a picture. Like, this is what the new age office looks like. Hold on, let me see if I can show y'all this page. Let me stop my screen real quick. Where can I show you one? Oh, here we go. Let me see if it'll let me go to this website. I don't know what this article is about, but I just want to show you guys what it looks like. Oh, this picture's horrible. Sorry, guys. It's really grainy. I promise I'm coming back. Okay. Y'all, none of these pictures work. This is so stupid. Okay, let me share it. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about. See, I'm spoiled. I haven't worked in an office since 2018. So I know I'm spoiled. I'm speaking from a place of privilege. Let me do that because it ain't too often that we get to, okay? But you see what that picture on the right-hand side? That's what your average office looks like now. I would die. I'd be like, where the hell is my cubicle? Even when I had a membership to a business club, I got that membership because I had a private office. And yes, you do have to share your spaces, meaning that, you have to rent out your block of time, but it's paid for within your membership. So this right here is a nightmare to me. I need a door. I need a window. Okay. I don't want you sitting next to me hearing all my business. Miss me with that. That's a cost saving measure right there. If I see an office like this, I already know that company's on some BS. But you know why you have to work there? Because you don't have enough money saved up to leave. Because you don't, and this is not a diss. The average worker doesn't make enough money. I told you, everybody that I know here in Virginia has 2 jobs minimum. And yes, even the people that work in healthcare. Now, don't get me wrong, because these nurses, love y'all VCU nurses, but y'all be walking around here with your chest puffed out a whole lot. I'd love to see you with that same energy in LA. Y'all be walking around with your chest puffed out, making $60,000 a year. Cut it out. Cut it out. But also holler at your girl when I need that medical care, okay? But even the healthcare workers here in Virginia don't make a lot of money. Just to kind of switch the subject, I had a phlebotomist, which is actually one of the jobs people are quitting the most, I think as of 2023. And they only make like $30-something thousand for the most part, at least in this part of the country. So the phlebotomist, she was going to take my blood. And I'm not kidding. She had a baby on her hip. And I looked at her and I said, okay, this is one of them situations where I can make this sister feel real stupid, or I could just talk to her so I could get some content and context, right? She literally said her job would not let her be off. So she had to bring her baby to work. So instead of her job paying her whatever, like $100, $200, $300 for that day for her to be off with her kid, they literally created a health hazard and a potential lawsuit by making her bring her kid in. Why is she drawing my blood with a baby on her hip? Y'all, and she had a bonnet on. Listen, I promise Credit Solutionist has insurance, okay? I have medical insurance. And it ain't the government kind, okay, baby? I pay good money for my insurance. Matter of fact, because of the issue that I had at the beginning of the year, I ain't paid for medical care since. I got maxed out in January. My out-of-pocket been maxed out. I ain't paid for nothing since then. But yeah, looking at this girl, I'm like, that is sad, man. So I knew already I was looking at somebody that could be a potential client on both the business and the credit repair side or the debt elimination side, right? I meet people every single day that could use my assistance. Every single day. But I also meet real cool business owners. I met a brother the other day, as a matter of fact. And then I'm gonna hop into these comments so we could chat, y'all, because I promise y'all know I'll be going on and on. But I met this cool brother the other day. As a matter of fact, he just texted me a minute ago. This dude, we were talking about business, because I was like, oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Like I want to start interviewing business owners so they can kind of give my audience an idea of what I'm talking about with my small business blueprint. So we start chopping it up about that. And he tells me like, oh yeah, I do cleaning. Now, when he said he had a cleaning business, I was like, oh, okay, cool. He probably does like maybe unit turns or something like that. Cause I met a lot of those people. And he was like, nah, I got a cleaning business. And I'm like, okay, well, where do you clean? Like what you do? You know what I mean? Like I know a couple of places where I could refer you to. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, this is why I'm gonna tell you why I was kind of looking at the brother a little funny, because I said, do you have a website? And he goes, oh no, I don't got no website. And I said, oh, okay. And I said, well, where's your business card? He said, damn, you know what I'm saying? He was like, man, you got me. He's like, I ain't got no business cards on me. I said, okay. I said, well, how you a business owner and you ain't got no website? But then I remembered, well, anybody can have a website. And honestly, I haven't met many business owners out here that have websites, but they be doing business. This brother was like, but let me show you my work. So he gives me his, shows me his cell phone. He starts scrolling through. Y'all, this brother does cleaning for all of the major department stores out here. I was like, what? So yeah, he started scrolling through. He's like, yeah, that's us. And I was like, okay. And he's like, and so everything that I assumed about the dude, when he started talking, he's like, yeah, he's like, I got a few trucks, we go from place to place. He's like, nah, that's me. Y'all, I felt so dumb. But he said, look, my business is word of mouth. He said, I ain't got to have no website. And I said, look, sir, but if you had one, maybe. He's like, nah. He's like, I'm good. I've been in business 20 years. I'm good. And it's funny because you know how you talk to somebody that has that kind of confidence where you like, okay, he's not lying. This brother's for real. He's for real. So I'm gonna chat with him because I was trying to get him on the YouTube channel. Every time I be offering, I didn't realize how scary it is for people to get online and promote or talk about what they do. Never realized it, but I told y'all, I guess it's a skill or a gift that I didn't realize that I had. Yeah, I'm not on tonight because listen, y'all, your girl had a long day. Okay. Had a long day. And I had to do a little bit of hobnobbing today, and that takes so much out of me. But anyway, let me see if I'm all done with this New York Times article. Hold up, y'all. Let me get it back on the screen here. But yeah, this just back to this real quick too. I would die. If you would die, put a 1 in the chat. I don't know, but ain't no advantages to this open concept. Okay. I would at least give my workers a cubicle if I had to, open an office space for my people, because that, I don't know, that open space is for the birds. And I feel like only Gen Z is cool with that. And young millennials, they think that stuff is cool. No, it's not. That's not cool. Okay. I need a cubicle and a door. Okay. But let me see if I was done with the New York Times thing. Then I will get in these comments, baby. All right. Let's see if we were done here. Where's that page? There we go. Okay. I think I'm done. But yeah, remember these faces, y'all. These people are stupid. Absolutely stupid. Oh, no music. I think we were done. Yeah, we're done. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the comments, and then we're going to peace out. All right, hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Hopefully we're still here. Okay. Y'all are very quiet tonight. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I didn't mean to go in on these people so hardcore. I really didn't. But I'm about to peace out in just a second. But I want to say what's up to everybody that came through. Y'all, let me know if you can still hear me. It looks like YouTube was kind of hating on me. Hold on. I got to check my other channel here. Okay, yeah, the audio's good. All right, but yeah, y'all, I didn't mean to go like so hard on the New York Times people, but please don't get so excited about picketing and stuff like that because, man, the internet is forever. Your employer could see you on there. Like they could totally see you defecting. You know what I'm saying? And that's not smoke that you want. So please be careful, y'all. Just be smart out here. Still Rocks, thank you so much for stopping by. And then of course that was me on my little other channel letting y'all know that my router went out. Y'all, I kicked the wire and the whole thing unplugged. And it was crazy because I saw that Streamyard still had me on there. I'm like, wait, how did my router unplug and I could still like hear it on YouTube? It was so weird. Seeking my creator, never seen you before, but hey, welcome to the channel. Pretty sure you came through probably by way of another content creator. So welcome. And thank you for that, Still Rocks. Take your time. It was hard. It was so hard. Because as soon as I wanted to start, I'm like, really, router? Okay. But it was me. I kicked the wire and it unplugged. All right. The Post and the Times have been at war forever, and the Post is right and the Times is left. I mean, listen, it could be that political stuff too, because really everybody just get prepared because basically it's just going to be a whole lot of right-wing publications that are going to get a lot of coverage for the next 4 years. Everybody just, get ready, and regardless of what side of the political spectrum you land on, it doesn't matter. The only thing that we have to worry about right now is getting to the money. If you're going to get to the money through education, I say go ahead and do that, but make sure that your employer pays for it, right? While people are focused on politics, you should be focused on your own personal economy. I'm pretty sure Jerome Powell is going to get up there in a day or two and say, hey, interest rates are going to go up. Okay, that's great. But what does that mean to you? You need to make more money. You need to skill up. You need to get more training. You need to do whatever it is that you were set to do 4 years ago that, you didn't do it now. That's all that matters. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that you're onto something with the right and the left thing with the news outlets. But the true point here is also that the workers really thought that they were doing something. But the truth of the matter is they weren't doing anything, because the reason it was so ineffective was because they started the work for election night. They started that way before they were even thinking about striking. So they had already, set up the system to where it was going to run on election night with or without them. So then they decided to strike like a day before the election because they thought that somebody was going to need them in the event that something went wrong with whatever it was that they set up. I hope that makes sense. But what they didn't realize is that if you work ahead like that it doesn't work. Like you can't work ahead, solve the problem, and then try to disappear the day that everything's going to launch. You already set it up to launch. It was already set in stone. So that's kind of why that their strike, the timing looks good on paper, but in practice and in execution, they didn't do very well. So that's why I wanted to cover it, because it just goes to show like they weren't very bright. And again, if they've been negotiating their contract for 2 years, their union representatives are so ineffective that I don't blame the New York Post for posting this, right? It serves them well, to be quite honest, but hopefully, they get back in there and none of them are severely punished, but they're definitely going on a list for the New York Times. I would absolutely remember every single person that picketed, because I have a feeling it was just such a small group of people that picketed, not realizing that, I mean, look, this whole thing is automated. We could handle life without y'all. So do what you got to do, but it is what it is. But thanks again for stopping by. Carla J, channel member, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you are doing very well. Pretty sure probably everybody I'm saying hello to is probably already gone, because YouTube's showing me that y'all are dropping off like little flies. All right, Alonzo, hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, the jobs definitely are not loyal. And we saw that just based on the fact that what happened with Pepsi. And hopefully those folks at Pepsi are okay. I mean, I think everybody's going to get a payout, to be honest. So, I mean, I'm saying like it's okay to have a job. You know what I'm saying? But just remember that your job's best interest, or their vested interest, is in their bottom line. It's not in your bottom line. Yes, they're going to pay you. Yes, they give you benefits and all that stuff. But that's the whole point. You're supposed to use your job for what benefits it has. To be invested in the company culture, to wear what is it? How they have like t-shirts and team stuff and all that. Like, instead of doing all of that, man, honestly, just go do your job. Be personable, do your job, stay on people's good side. That's like all you have to do. There's nothing more that you need to do in this climate. Because really I don't want to say quiet quit, just do what you need to do and make sure that the movers and shakers see you doing what you need to do. If your upper management, like say your VP or something like that, if they offer an opportunity for people to have conversations with them one-on-one, it's in your best interest to go and do it. Go ahead and sit in front of that person and just talk, because you never know what could come down the line. I will say that. So I'm not saying be a company man or company woman, but when these opportunities present themselves, you should absolutely take advantage. The ones that go and step up and say, hello, my name is so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Your face recognition is a thing in the workplace. You don't want to be like that lady that worked for Wells Fargo that got found a couple of days after she perished, right? You don't want to be that person. Like, I'm pretty sure that lady, the VP, probably didn't know who the heck she was, but you want to be that person that is presentable. Like, we know who you are. When you go missing, people notice, right? That's who you want to be. Like at one of my jobs, I mean, I got a team spirit award because that's who I am. If I'm in a work environment, I'm absolutely that person. I would probably get on y'all's nerves if I had a job and we worked together. I would get on your nerves because I definitely am the person. Yes, you're going to know that I exist. Now, I'm not going to push myself on you, but you're going to know that I exist, right? I will not what's the word, those people that do the planning committee. I'm not going to lead the planning committee for parties, but I'll be on the committee, right? That's me. But that might not be your forte, but just find, and I'm sure Mentor Shelley can co-sign this, just find what it is that you're good at and make yourself visible to your employer in a positive way. We don't want to be known picketers like that. I'm not sure why all of these companies or all of these people are doing this right now, because it's not a good look. 20, 30, 40 years ago, that was cool. But now, if you're picketing, you're just showing a company that they can do without you. That's it. Because with technology, Erica just did a live stream with Patrick Dix, and they were talking about that. Like, these companies are automating everything. And the fact that they're automating everything is something that we need to pay attention to. It means don't picket, don't strike. Because I think I talked about it either last night or the night before. You're not a dock worker. Like, if you're not a dock worker, why are you striking? See, if dock workers strike, there's a problem. We don't want tankers floating in the middle of the ocean like they did during the pandemic. I only remember that because when I was flying, coming home to California, I would see just these shipping containers just sitting in the middle of the ocean. They weren't going anywhere. It wasn't like that before. But, when all the shipping and stuff stopped for a bit, we felt it. So if you're a dock worker, that's very different than being in a tech guild at the New York Times. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if these people have been maybe coaxed into believing that their position is one that cannot be given to someone else. Because the other thing I realized about the New York Times situation is that American workers are very expensive. We cost a lot. And we also have high expectations with a lot of things, where if it's a technological job, the truth of the matter is they could outsource that to some other company. So that's where, the business angle comes in for me, because you could be the person that offers that service, right? When these people are picketing, okay, well, you can step in that, wedge the gap. You could be in there and say, okay, well, these people are doing that, why don't you just contract the work, contract whatever work it is for those projects that you're doing, right? Because the tech company that I'm with, we are how would you call it? We're a third party, right? They have employees within their organizations for our clients. I'm talking about our clients. We have, like, if I have client A has an entire department. Like in the old school days, they would have an entire department that does what I can do in a fraction of the time. So what's happening now in certain industries, the industry that I'm in, they are now starting to downsize those departments, their compliance, auditing, all that. They're starting to downsize that, and they're starting to outsource it to software companies because it's just quicker. It's more efficient. We have more of a vested interest in getting it right because we're a third party, right? I work with so many people, but it's all remote. I don't see these people. I got teams that I have to oversee. I've never met these people. Never met them. I got 50 sites in my portfolio. 50, 50, y'all, 50. 50. And I'm almost positive that we are probably a fraction of what it costs to have compliance in-house. I know this for a fact. So the only reason I'm stressing this is because this particular product that I offer is literally this guy started he just started an LLC. He said, look, the industry needs this particular resource, and I think I have a way to do it. I'm going to contract it out. So essentially, it's like, imagine if you have an auditor that just comes in and audits your books and stuff like that, or even like an IRS auditor. It's pretty much the exact same thing, except I don't have to touch papers. My team doesn't have to touch papers. None of us have to touch anybody's paperwork at all. Like, everything's digital. So why would a company go out of their way to keep people in an office, lease out the office space, when they could just have a bunch of people planted throughout the country that have that special, basically, yeah, it's getting late. I'm having brain farts now, but we basically, our niche, like that's our niche right there. We focus on that one thing instead of the company doing it the old school way, where, let's say you're a property manager. Well, what does your day look like as a property manager? You got to deal with residents, you got to deal with billing, you got to deal with turning units, advertising, making sure that the property, managing upkeep, maintenance, everything. You're not worried about, like, you don't have the time to focus on compliance and making sure that you're following all the government regulations, contracts, all that. You don't have time for that. And the cost to train you effectively is going to be way more than just outsourcing it to a company that only does that one thing. Right? It's just like you hire a janitor, right? You hire a janitor because you don't want your employees wasting time scrubbing toilets. Be all right, because instead of scrubbing toilets, they could be generating income for your business. They could be advertising. They could be doing other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So outsourcing is huge, and it's all around us. We just don't really pay attention to it. So on the business side, I'm saying go ahead and start something that you can outsource like that, right? Because the service that I have, credit repair, I could even outsource that, y'all. I'm not going to get deep into that. That I got to put behind a paywall. But 9 times out of 10, when somebody does credit repair, they outsource it. They outsource it. More on that another day. If you ever want to get into the credit repair game and you want to know about outsourcing, holler at me. A lot of companies do it, and it's very cheap. It's a good way to make a lot of money fast. So think about whatever skill you have, and if you can actually outsource that, right? So I know we're getting way off topic here, but we can do that. It's my channel, and there's a handful of you here. So somebody's listening to me just ramble. But really think about that. The thing is, you can charge what you want. You can set your own hours. You could do all that stuff, right? And you have to stay on the edge, like the cutting edge of whatever industry that you're in. Like for me, I have to obviously stay abreast of what's happening in housing, but I also have to stay abreast of what's happening with software because of that fact. So I only talk about this stuff because I'm doing it, and I don't always articulate it the best, but, I'm actually pretty smart offline. Okay, so let me continue here, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. Hey, Ravi, probably not here. I'll probably put y'all to sleep, but it is what it is. We're gonna keep doing it. Seeking my creator. Okay, so y'all all know each other. I like this. I like this. I like this. Okay. And NC Worker, hey there. Thank you so much for stopping by. And Alonzo, we said hello already. And then Samri, I'm not sure if you're still here either, but hopefully everything's going well with your situation. We still haven't gotten an update from you, sister, but hopefully everything's good. I actually had another friend that got into a car accident this week too, here in Virginia. I think I told you the other day, she said her car got totaled. Somebody actually slammed into it while she was parked. So that sucks. But yeah, guys, don't be like these New York Times people, And I mean, if you're going to pick it, just make sure that you understand that your employer is now going to be looking at you with a very critical eye. I mean, nobody in the chat really said it, but I don't know. Do y'all think that was a wise decision for them to do that, for them to pick it? I don't think it was. And I do think that those people are definitely going to be on the chopping block at the end of the year. Right. So that is all I think I have for you guys tonight. I got to go to sleep and wake up early in the morning. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have something else to talk about tomorrow. Because listen, it sounds like everybody's going nuts in these employment streets, and they're acting like jobs come a dime a dozen. But I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. I've been in my little bubble for the last 6 years of credit, so it is what it is. But guys, thank you so much, so much, so much for stopping by. Be sure to share this content with somebody that you think might love it. I'll try not to be as spicy next time, because I realized I was really coming for these people. We're not gonna do that next time. All right, I'm gonna be nice. But you guys, thanks again, and I will see you guys on the next stream. Credit Solutionist out.